It is simply unbelievable that such a strong, giant pipe was twisted off. Although the hook head was broken, after a series of operations by the Pakistani master, it can be perfectly repaired and used normally. How is such a repair done? The pipe money in front of us was broken due to the stress on the upper hook head. They simply cannot buy a suitable hook head for this purely imported tool locally. This is not difficult for the experienced master. After a careful measurement and comparison, the axis of the shaft is exactly the same as the width of the pipe money jaw. After simply marking the length, the master is ready to use this section of the axis to reproduce it, because the axis is a standard cylinder. The teeth of the lower jaw of the pipe front are fitted. First, it must be cut into a plane. Since they do not have a high-end washing bed, the jaws of the four-claw plate can be fixed off axis. The common lathe tool can also easily shape the elbow rod. After the plane processing is completed, the entire width is slightly different from the lower jaw. As for the two sides, the planes must also be cut out to make the widths of the two completely consistent. The straight surface can also better restore the appearance of the hook head. After a simple pre-processing of the elbow rod, the hook teeth must also be engaged with the lower jaw teeth. The master will then compare the tooth tools and mark them. The upper hook head cannot be completely attached. The master will extend the mark point vertically. In order to process the same hook teeth on the shaft rod, a spring rod needs to be fixed on the claw plate. The welded bracket is fixed to the tool holder by bolts. The shaft rod can be completely clamped and fixed with one block, and the same processing operation of the gear hobbing machine can be achieved. After confirming that the horizontal finger is correct, the telescopic degree of the cutter head needs to be adjusted to a certain extent. Excessive cutting will also damage the cutter head. However, their repair shop only has one lathe. After using the matching accessories developed by the master, other equipment processing operations can be easily achieved. If you can't buy it, make it yourself. After 10 minutes of cutting of the tang rod, the hook teeth have met the use requirements. Confirm that the number of hook teeth and the lower jaw teeth are moved to the back. In order to prevent the gap between the two tooth tools from being too large, the master also needs to remove the broken hook head on the front of the tube. Compare the shaft and the lower jaw. After a rigorous comparison, it can be spliced with the original hook head. Considering the overall strength of the hook head, the center line should be marked on the shaft first, and the thickness of the original hook head should be recorded with a caliper. It is embedded and spliced. In order to avoid the deviation of the cutting of the serration, it is necessary to use a bench drill to drill a hole in the center. This can reduce the difficulty of cutting the serration and provide a certain thickness reference. After the elbow is completely penetrated, the holes are not connected, so it is necessary to use the sheep serration to fit the edge and cut. The punched hole can become an embedded groove. However, the sheep serration cutting speed is very fast, which also makes the cutting surface very rough. In order not to affect the fit of the side of the hook head, grind and remove to prevent the internal control bone from causing the elbow to loosen. After grinding, it is built with the original hook head. The angle is adjusted by knocking the wolf head. After confirmation, pre-assemble. Confirm that the splicing angle can be tightened to make the two become a whole. The gap at the edge needs to be welded with welding rods. This can increase the firmness of the hook head in front of the pipe, fill the gap at the edge, and improve the overall aesthetics of the joint. After the master's rigorous polishing, the hook head of the pipe is now assembled. The current strength does not meet the standard for use. In order to prevent the hook head from being unable to bear force, the master will drill a hole in the center where the two fit together. This is the wire hole embedded in the original hook head. After all, the welding rod cannot be fully welded to the inside. After confirmation, it is connected through the extended anchor nail. Even if the welding rod cracks during use, the fixed anchor nail can prevent the hook head from flying out, because the welding temperature and the heating of the defect have already annealed the spliced shaft rod to make the hardness of the hook head higher. The main purpose is to embrittle the hook head with salt water. Although they did not use embrittlement oil, salt water can not only improve hardness and toughness, but also remove the rust agent remaining on the surface. There is no impurity on the surface of the hook head. Because it will oxidize and rust after long-term use, the master will use paint to completely cover it. It can cover the traces of welding and splicing, and you can have a brand new experience. Then install the spliced hook head back to its original position. This giant pipe with a broken hook head was spliced with an elbow rod. What do you think of the skills of the Pakistani master? What about